Hello friends, today we will discuss about Q with a C programming language. The program is available in front of you. With this particular program, so we can understand how the Q can be implemented using C programming. We have used functions like insert Q, then display Q and delete Q. These three functions are used, whereas all these functions are called in main with the help of switch function. The switch statement will get a choice from a user. One is for insert, two is for delete, and three is to display the Q contains. So as the user enter the choice 1, 2, 3 or 4, according to that the function will be called. The first function is insert Q. In this particular Q, we will get a value that to be entered in the queue from a user. When a user enters the value, this value will be transferred to an array Q. This particular array Q is an array we have declared as a global variable. 20 is defined as a maximum size of this particular array. We have a front pointer and rear pointer. So these front and rear, both the pointers are defined with the help of this particular array. Once we get a value from a user, this value will be entered in the array Q, whereas this rear P has been decremented as it was pointing to the maximum value of this particular Q. So since we assume that this 4 is the maximum size of a Q and we want to enter the value here, then rear will be incremented because rear was very far away, or it was defining that the Q is empty. When we have decremented, so this particular rear was pointing to the first location where the data can be added, the value can be added. Once we add the value, then the job is done. Again, if a user want to enter a new item into the queue, then he will press 1, and according to that again the value will be collected from a user. Then the user will enter a value. This value again R will be made point to the next item, next location in the queue. So this is, with this he is made to point third location if we assume that the size of array is 4. If he wants to enter a new value into it, then this rear will be decremented to point to the next element, next location in the array, that is 2. This is how the rear will keep on decrementing again and again, as it was previously in the initial stage was pointing to the largest location in the array. As we have entered, let us assume we have entered 5 value into the 4th location, whereas 4 value in the 3rd location and 10 value in the 2nd location. This is how the last element entered in the queue was 10, and that is pointed by R. If we want to remove the element, we have to make this F to point the next element 4 and remove 5 out of this queue. This is how the process of removing the element from the queue will work. So what we can do here is array Q, the front pointer, the content like 5 will be removed from data queue, and that is being displayed with the help of printf function. Whereas after removing the content 5 from the queue, F will be made pointing to the next element, that is 4. So this is how F will be decremented from 4 to 3, 4 to 3, and then 3 to 2, and then 2 to 1. This is how the front will be decremented for pointing to the next element that is going to be removed from the queue. So then we have a display queue. We need to display the contents, the remaining contents or available contents in the queue. For this, we started from the front position, let us say F, and then we'll move towards R for displaying the current contents in the queue for array queue. Let's begin the debugging or the real-time execution of the algorithm. As if we started, then we will print the current value of the queue. We have provided options 1 for insert, 2 for delete, 3 for display, and 4 to exit. As we press 1, so this one value will be made available as a choice to the program for getting a value from a user. When we press 1, the scanf will get the 1, and then he will provide the value to the user, to the program, and then the program will enter in the insert queue function, and he will get the value which a user want to enter in the queue. So as we defined, 5 is the first value that we want to enter in the queue, so that we will enter 5 as a value that to be entered in a queue. Next thing, the rear pointer will be decremented to point to that particular location, and the rear will be the pointer where the 5 value will be entered in that particular array. Once we enter the value, we'll come back. We will expect again one more value that to be entered in the queue. So again, the same function, the insert queue function will be called, and in the insert queue function we are supposed to enter the next value, that is 4, that we want to enter in the queue. Again, the rear is decremented and rear is now pointing to 4, and then this particular 4 is entered into array, and again we will do the same procedure for entering the next value in the queue. So we will say that 1, we want to enter the next value in the queue. Then insert function will be called, and in this insert function he will ask which next value that you want to enter in the queue, that is 10. Now 10 has been entered. Now we have first value we entered is 5, second is 4, third is 10. The rear pointer is decremented, and that is made to point to the next value that to be entered in the array queue, and that is 10. So we will have to see which are the elements that we have entered into the queue. For that we'll say 3 to display the contents in the in the queue. So we'll go to the display, third option, display queue function. So it will, the I is pointed, I is a counter which is first of all initialized with front, and then it will keep decrementing towards rear, so that one by one contents will be printed on the screen. First content is displayed, that is 5, the value first entered into the queue. Then second is again it will print 4, and then the last value we have entered is 10. So this is how 5, 4, 10 has been displayed in the queue. It will come out of the loop and will ask for the next choice, that what is the procedure user want to do. Let's say we want to delete an item from a queue, and for deleting an item, let's press a value, let's press 2, so that we will be able to delete a dequeue an item from that particular queue. So delete queue function is called. So in this dequeue function, the front p, what is pointed by front is pointing to 5, the first element that to be taken out. So this 5 is taken in dequeue data, and then front will be decremented, so that front will be made to point 4. So this is how the next element has to be selected, has to be decided. Then front now has been decremented. The value what we want to delete from this particular queue will be displayed here. The value taken out of the stack, sorry, it's a return stack, it should be Q, it's a 5. Then the next value, then we will see what are the real contents available in the queue now. So let's say 3 to display the current contents. Since we have removed 5 from the queue, so 5 does not exist in the queue, and the contents will be displayed are 4 and then 10. So again we'll go and try to delete one more element from the queue. So for that we will say to remove the element from the queue. So it will go get a weight data in the data queue from the array queue. Since front P was pointing to 4, so 4 has been taken into data queue. Front P will be decremented, and then the value will be displayed like 4. So first element was entered 5, the next element has been deleted from the queue was 4, and this is how we will again display what are the remaining contents in the queue. So 3 for displaying the contents, so we'll go to the display queue function, keep displaying the contents. Only 10 is the item because we have entered 5, then 4, then 10. 5 has been removed, then 4 also has been removed from the queue, and only 10 is available in the queue. So this is how we can enter the elements from one end, and we keep on removing from the other end, and we'll get the real-time execution of a queue here. So this is how the implementation of the queue using C programming is explained. Thank you.